We are focusing our strategy on mass marketing to be able to produce quality goods that are affordable to the mass market. We don't want to deal with products that are high-end. We want to deal with products that people and Tanzanians can afford.
So the company's set to break through the $1 billion revenue bracket this year. Is that, do you think, because wealth is beginning to trickle down?
It is trickling down, but before I answer whether it's trickling down totally or not, I want to say that the country as a whole has been doing amazing. We've been growing at 7%, and we're the top 10 fastest growing economies in the world. Yes, the reflection is that my company is doing as well, and it's been growing. So 1999, our revenues were $30 million, and today we're going to clock over $1.1 billion. We were employing 4,000 people, today we're employing 24,000 people. Now, if I've been able to sell more products, that means people are buying more products. And when they are buying more products, that means they're having more money. And if they're having more money, that means their purchasing power is increasing. So I believe in a way, yes, it is trickling down, but not as much as other people want it to be.
So do ordinary Tanzanians prefer to buy Tanzanian, or do they prefer to buy imported goods?
Well, they are driven more on price. So if a Tanzanian product is priced better than a foreign product, then they will be inclined to buy Tanzanian product. Of course, now we are creating a slogan to buy Tanzanian, because when you buy Tanzanian, that company manufactures in Tanzania and employs people and pays taxes in Tanzania. So it's always good to support. But I still feel in general that Tanzanians are driven by price. If you can give them a quality product with a good competitive price, then they will buy your product. And that's the motto of METL Group.
So tell me about the Mo brand.
It's all started, my name is Mohammed. When you go to the States, people cut your name into a half or a quarter, so they kept on calling me Mo and Mo. And then when I got back here and I sponsored a big football team, and of course they kept on tagging along with that name Mo, then one day we realized that we had 250 different brands, different products and different brands, and we wanted to advertise, and it was becoming very, very cumbersome and difficult to be able to depute and give out so much budget to each and every brand. Then I came up with an idea that why don't we consolidate all these brands into one major brand, so then we should advertise and put in $10–15 million in advertising that particular brand. So once people use more Dent in terms of, toothbrush and toothpaste, and that they will use more wheat flour and more oil and more sugar and so forth.
As well as Chief Executive here at Metal, you're also a sitting member of Parliament. So do those political connections make it easier to get business done?
Because I was born in a very poor area, and when I got there, I saw people very, very poor, and accessibility of water was 23%, and there was 2 secondary schools in a constituency of 200,000 people. So I went there to kind of help, and over the last 8 years, thanks to METL Group that has been supporting me, we've spent $5 million of our own personal money to be able to invest and do development in that area. As far as accessibility to politicians, I think, all wealthy people, all people that have big contributions to their economy have access to government, because they have to work in hand and create a partnership. Everybody needs to understand their role, but they need to communicate. So I don't think it's giving me any access as such, but if I need to meet someone, I can meet them at any point of time. I mean, it's because possibly they are my colleagues, so it would be easier. But other business people, other multinationals, even if they want to meet the politicians, they have access.
Recently, there's been a lot of tension within East Africa over the East African community. Is that something that matters to a business like yours?
You see, as a businessman, I like the East African community because I see a much bigger market. We're 46 million people, but if we integrate with Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, you're talking about 200 million people. So as a businessman, I love the big market. As a country, you have to go historically and realize that Tanzania was hurt when the first East African community broke in 1977. So once beaten, second time shy. And you also have to realize that Tanzania holds 52% of the land bank if you put in the whole East African community. So we are scared into going into the East African community very fast because we are worried that our education level has been quite low, so we don't want to lose our jobs to the Kenyans and Ugandans. At the same time, we don't want to lose our land. But notwithstanding that, my advice to the government of Tanzania would be that we can set aside the burning issues that we're not sure on how to go forward with, aside, and yet integrate on customs and tariffs and taxes and so forth.